my dear students. Good day. We are back in our TLE exploratory food processing, which is the fermenting and pickling. We are now in quarter 2, module 4. So, this is week 4 to 5, which is we're going to perform alcoholic fermentation of fruits and vegetables. Okay, so what I need to know in this module. So this module tackles about a process called fermentation. So this aims to help you understand the process of fermentation. It is also explained that procedures and how to calculate the alcohol content of the product and the acidity of the solution as well. The module also includes recipe where you can apply the process of fermentation. Okay, so this module discusses the alcoholic fermentation of fruits and vegetables. So after going through these modules, you are expected to, okay, these are our objectives. Identify the fermentation. What is fermentation? Number 2, we are going to determine the different process in alcoholic fermentation. And number 3, perform lactic acid fermentation. Okay? So this modules covers the introduction, the learning objectives, introduction or learning objectives, pre-assessment, the lesson proper, the generalization, application, and post-assessment. Okay, so we are now in our pre-assessment. This is what I know. Okay, so you are going to use the separate sheet in answering the test. Be sure to write the following. Okay, so you are going to write your name, your section, grade, the grade and sections, your subject, and the lesson title. So let us know how much you already know about the process fermentation. The instruction is you are going to complete the following words by filling out the missing letters indicated by the underlined spaces between the letters. Write the complete word on a separate sheet. So there are numbers 1 to 10. So this is a fill in the blank. Okay, you're going to find the missing letters. Okay, missing letters, I mean, sorry. So this is here 1 to 10. Okay, you are going to answer this one. And after answering this, we are going to proceed this what's new. Okay, we will know the following. What's the meaning of fermentation? A fermentation is the breaking down of carbohydrates into alcohol and acids. So it is usually referred to as uh, anaerobic respiration. This is the type of respiration that occurs in the absence of oxygen. However, not all fermentation happens under anaerobic conditions. How do we pronounce this ones? Anaerobic conditions. So these are 3 types of fermentations which will be discussed in this module. But first, these are 3 common ingredients in fermentation, and pickling. The first one is the sugar. It is a soluble carbohydrates converted to alcohol or acid through fermentation. Simple sugar or mono monosaccharides are made up of one of the molecule of sugar. Okay? And there are three. Okay? There are three simple sugars are. So, what are the three? The glucose, the fructose, and the galactose. Okay? So, the glucose found in the human bloodstream, sap of plants, fruits. Okay? And then the fructose or the fruct found in the fruits and vegetables. And number three, okay, number three is the galactose found in a dairy products. So while table sugar is this what you call this one? This acride made up of glucose and fructose. As an ingredient, table sugar reduces water activity and adds flavor to the product. Okay. So number one is sugar. Number two is the yeast or the Saccharomyces cerevisiae. It is a species of fungi that converts sugar into ethanol during alcoholic fermentation. And number three is the vinegar. Vinegar is both product of fermentation and an ingredients of fermented products. Okay? The mother vinegar, which can be found floating in the surface of unpasteurized vinegar, provides good bacteria that flows alcohol to ferment into the acetic acid. Okay, next, the vinegar has the antiseptic properties which kill microbes, preventing spoilage. So, let's see. A vinegar tenderizes meat and gives extra flavor to pickles. Number four, this is the salt or the sodium chloride. Okay, then reduces the water activity and enhance flavor also. It also affects the textures of the product. And number five, the spices are also the mask color and the odor of the fermented and pickled products. Okay, so what is it? So we're going to ask the question. What is it? Alcoholic fermentation is the breakdown of sugar into the alcohol and the carbon dioxide due to the addition of the yeast. So this type of fermentation occurs under anaerobic conditions. This final product of alcohol fermentation is ethanol. So the process of alcoholic fermentation is best explained by wine processing. Okay, so this is here the yeast. Okay, this is the glucose and the carbon. Here, as you can see, I cannot see it clearly. It's because it's too little. Okay, okay, so this is the glucose here. And this is the 2 carbon dioxide plus the ethanol. Okay. So, ano siya iyang formula. Okay. So the wine, sama ning wine class. It is an alcoholic drink made of made from fermented fruits. Okay? So gikan na sa fruits ang wine, the most common being made from grapes. Okay? Gikan sa grapes. Okay, wine processing consists of 4 stages. Okay. So, ang pag-process dahil sa wine class, mo na siya na ay 4 stages. Okay. So, number 1. Number 1 is extraction. So, gikan sa fruits, gi-extract na siya. Then, number 2, fermentation. Number 3, aging. And number 4 is clarification. Okay. These are the 4 wine processing. There are 4 stages. Okay. Next is, okay, so I'm going to explain one by one from extraction down to clarification. Okay. So we are now in the extraction. So there are 2 methods of extraction: applying pressure and water extraction. Okay, applying pressure and the water extraction class. So for the number 1, the applying pressure, freshly and juicy fruits like grapes, pineapple, and tomatoes are pounded and pressed. So siya pressure ba? Depende ninyo kung giunsa basta i-apply siya o agi like your uh, like your lemon, okay, the grapes. So that is applying pressure. O ni siya ang mga fruits, juicy fruits like grapes, pineapple, and tomatoes. How about number 2? Number 2 is the water extraction. The water extraction, water is added in proportion to the fruit. Okay, for example, the mixture is brought to a boil and then strained. Then the soil particles are removed and the juice is extracted. So freshly and dry fruits like banana, pignay, dohat, and guava are extracted through this method. Okay, that's water extraction. So, mao na siya no, pagkuha sa iyang juice. So, sometimes, sugar from the juice extract is insufficient to produce the alcohol in wine. So, dili paigo no class. So, in such cases, sugar is added. So, pun-an na tuog sugar because it's not enough ang juice nga atong gi-extract. So, the extract and the subjected to heat to dissolve the sugar and to destroy any microbe. So the extract is transferred to a container and left to cool. Okay, that is extraction. Number 2. Number 2 is we are now in the fermentation. So at this stage, yeast is added to the extract. Okay, once na nakagi-extract na juice, ada nimo og yeast. Yeast reproduce exponentially and digest the sugar, converting into the ethanol and carbon dioxide. See, a good indicator of this process is the formation of fruit and bubbles on the surface of the liquid. Okay, makakita ka og bubbles. Good. So, good process na siya. Okay? So, the process takes about 1 to 4 weeks depending on the amount of sugar in the juice extract and the minimum number of yeast cells required to start the viable active fermentation. So, at this at least 1 tablespoon of active yeast is required to start alcoholic fermentation. So, unsa? 1 tablespoon. The ideal temperature for the alcoholic fermentation is 28 to 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, so number 3, aging. What's aging? So when fermentation is completed, the wine is siphoned into sterilized containers while the sediments at the bottom of the fermentation vat are discarded. So the wine is then stored in oak barrel and left to age for 1 to 2 years. So dugay-dugay jud, no? So this gives the wine its distinct aroma and color. So the longer the aging, the higher the price. Okay. So this wine will continue to age when bottled. Okay. So if you can age your wine in oak barrel, you can also proceed to the last step, which is the clarification. Clarification. Okay? So clarifying wine is done before bottling, before siya isod sa bottle. So this is to ensure that wine appears clear without floating particles nor colloidal suspensions. Cloudy wine does not command a good price. Okay. Next is there are three various ways in class to clarify the wine. There are three: sedimentations and descantations. Okay, leave the mixtures undisturbed in order for the sediment to settle at the bottom. Ano siya sa ubos, no? Okay, ang mga sediments. And then transferred or siphoned in liquid above the sediments into a different container. You're going to transfer class. Number 2 is the filtration. Okay. Use a filter paper or medium to separate the impurities from the liquid. Okay. Then number 3 is Manjive methods. Heat wine is a double boiler at 60 degrees Celsius. Add beaten egg whites, and then uh, the egg whites will bound at the sediments. Then you are going to stir and maintain temperature at 30 minutes for 30 minutes. Cool and filter the wine. Okay. So those are the three various ways to clarify a wine. Next is determining alcohol content. Okay. So knowing the alcohol content of your product is crucial in determining its price as well as complying with the regulations set by the Food and Drug Administrations. Alcohol content must be indicated in percentage, okay, volume as proof units. Okay, so to obtain the accurate alcohol content, you will need a hydrometer. Okay. Kung hilantan mo, ang gamiton is thermometer. Pero here is we are going to need the hydrometer. Take a reading before adding the yeast and after the wine has undergone complete fermentation. So you can measure alcohol content by determining alcohol by weight. Okay, ABW and alcohol by volume or EBV. Okay, so here's how to compute the for ABW and ABV. So number one, take initial and final ratings. Sample initial final ratings is a 1.045. Okay, sample final reading, reading, okay, sorry, it's reading 1.010. Okay, so number two, you are going to extract final reading from initial reading. Okay, on a ER, that's initial reading minus, that's subtract, okay, sorry class. Subtract final reading from the initial reading. Okay, ER minus FR. Okay, so this is the formula. Okay, so 1.45 minus 1.010 is equals 0.035. Okay, in step 3, you are going to multiply the difference between 105 to get the alcohol by way of ABW. So here, 0.035 times or multiply by 105 is equals to 3.68%, which is the ABW. Therefore, you have the you have a brew of 3.68% alcohol by way or ABW. Okay, then to get the alcohol by volume, multiply ABW by 1.25. Okay, so this is it. Ang ABW na to, this one, is 3.68%. I-multiply na siya 1.25 is equals 4.6. That is what we call as ABV. Okay. Then the acetic acid fermentation. Okay. This is the breakdown of ethanol into an acetic acid. So this type of fermentation follows alcoholic fermentations and occurs under aerobic condition. Ethanol is oxidized by an Estobacter or vinegar bacteria. Estobacter, okay, here. Ano ta diri ha? Vinegar bacteria. Ethanol goes to acetic acid. Okay. So vinegar making. Ano ta sa vinegar making? What is a vinegar? A vinegar is also referred to as spoiled wine. Okay? Spoiled wine. Meaning wala siya kapasar sa iyang pagka-wine. So, mao na siya ang gihimo na og vinegar. So to make vinegar, sugar must first be converted to ethanol in the process of alcoholic fermentation. So this vinegar bacteria or Acetobacter acetic or the mother vinegar is added to the mixture to convert the ethanol into the acetic acid. Okay? So vinegar is 4.8 kg acetic acid. Okay. So the vinegar contains 4 to 8% of the acetic acid. It has distinctive sour taste and pungent smell. So its keeping quality is due to the antiseptic properties of the acetic acid. So vinegar making consists of two stages. Number one is the alcoholic fermentation. The yeast is added to a juice extract. For vinegar, sugar cane, and coconut are usually extracted. So yes, the yeast is convert the sugar into the carbon dioxide and the ethanol under any anaerobic condition. Alcohol fermentation takes 1 to 4 weeks. Okay, for example, this is the sugar and this is the yeast. Ethanol and carbon dioxide mo na siya ang na-produce equals. Okay. Next is the acetic acid fermentation. So at this stage, a leaf culture of acetic acid bacteria or Acetobacter aceti, also referred to the mother's vinegar starter, combines with the ethanol. So at 5 to 13% alcohol content, acetic acid fermentations will begin. Okay, so the acetic acid bacteria will convert ethanol into the acetic acid and water in the presence of the oxygen. The optimum temperature is between 20 to 30 degrees Celsius at the pH level of 5 to 6. Okay. So as you can see here, the glucose and the acetic acid and the water. Okay? Ano siya ang Acetobacter aceti. Okay? So, acetic acid fermentation takes about 2 to 4 weeks to complete. Okay. So, here, proceed na ta sa titratable acidity. Okay, what is titratable acidity? It is a test to measure the amount of acid in the solution, such as citric acid, acetic acid, lactic acid, and etc., and expresses in grams or liter, deriving titratable acidity that helps to describe the impact of the acid on flavor, while acidity or the pH only measure the acetic acid fermentations. Okay, like this one. Only measures the strength of the acid. Okay? So, for example, mao ni siya ang laboratory setup. A laboratory setup of the following is required to derive the tetratable acidity. Okay? So, mao ni siya ang process. Okay. How to determine the tetrat uh, ter tetratable acidity? How to determine? Okay? So, tithe or transfer 10 ml sample of liquid food or 10 grams of solid food to an Erlenmeyer, what you call this one? Erlenmeyer flasks. Solid food should be liquefied by mixing with distilled water with the osterized or the blended into the fine pulp. Then you are going to add 90 ml distilled water to a sample and mix completely. Then, as about 0.3 ml of an indicator solution, example 1% of phenol, what you call this? Phenolphthalein, in 95% ethyl alcohol and or ethanol. Then you are going to fill clean acid urea, which is zero point 0.1 in sodium hydroxide solutions and titrate the sample until that faint pink color is attained. Then you are going to calculate the amount of acid as titratable acidity by percent. So when the sample is weighed in grams, the titratability, the titratable acidity in grams 100 ml. When the sample is measured in the volume with the following formula. Okay, these are the formula. The titratable acidity equals ml, this one, and this one, then times by 100 over weight volume of the sample. Okay, milliequivalent or ME weight of the different acid. Okay, acetic acid is 0.060, citric acid is 0.070, and then the tartaric acid is 0.075, and the lactic acid is 0.090. Okay, so lactic acid fermentation. So this is the what you call this one, anaerobic microbial breakdown of carbohydrates or the sugar to produce energy by and byproduct in the form of lactic acid. Lactic acid fermentation, however, only produce to only procedure 2 units of energy in every glucose molecule. So this renders lactic acid and inefficient in producing the cellular energy. Okay, so this is the illustration. Okay, so continue. So nevertheless, lactic acid fermentation is used in the creation of various shelf-stable products in the market. So they lower the pH of the food, inhibiting the growth of disease-causing microorganisms products in the market. Okay, so common products in the lactic acid fermentation of the sauerkraut, kimchi, yogurt, patis, and marong isda. Okay, so um, lactic acid bacteria, which aids fermentation in the food, are naturally found in the environment, which in carbohydrates such as plants, while others are cultured in the laboratory. So the most common commercially important genus of the lactic acid producing bacteria is Lactobacillus. Various species and lactobacillus are used to produce different types of products. Yogurts are the Lactobacilli bulgarius, what you call this, bulgaricus, and streptococcus, thermophilus, while Socrates uses bacteria from the genus Leuconostoc. So product of fermentations, lisod sa dagani pronounce ang uban not common. Ay, okay, so products of fermentation sa alcohol, fermentation, strawberry wine, rice wine. Then the acetic acid fermentation, the coconut and the water, vinegar and vinegar. Then the lactic acid fermentations are the kimchi, burong isda, patis or fish sauce, and yogurt. Okay? And this one is, we are going to have our strawberry wine. Kinsa na sa inyo ha nagkakaon og strawberry. Okay? So, extraction. So, pag-extract sa inyong wine, no? Strawberry wine. You're going to put 2 kilos of strawberry through a food processor or in a crush wine clean hand. Then boil crushed grapes in 2 ml of distilled water. So, imo nang i-boil, no? Pabukalan. And then you strain with a cheesecloth. Cheesecloth. Number 4, using the refractometer, you're going to check the total soluble solid or TSS. Okay, TSS or the undiluted fruit juice of the undiluted fruit juice should be at least 15%. Okay, so to add 12 cup of sugar per liter of the diluted fruit juice. Okay, then how about the alcoholic fermentation? You're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of active dry yeast for every liter of fruit juice. Hydrate the yeast in a small amount of the juice before adding to the whole mix. Then mix thoroughly. Number 2. Number 3, you are going to transfer into the glass jar or glass bottle. Then cover with cheesecloth to protect it from the contaminants. Then, number 4, place away from direct sunlight and at the room temperature. Room temperature, okay, stands so 1 to 4 weeks or until the gas formation has ceased. Okay, then number 5, you are going to check the TSS. When the Brix reading is 0, it means sugar has turned to alcohol. Alcoholic temperature is complete, and you may now proceed to a secondary fermentation. So, secondary fermentation or aging and clarifying. The process of secondary fermentation is to allow the wine to age by removing the layer of the sediment that occurred during the primary fermentation. So this will prevent the wine from taking the flavor from the sediment. Additionally, the clarify of the wine will improve. Okay. So, number 1, you're going to strain the liquid with the cheesecloth and transfer the wine into the secondary fermentation container. So, this will separate the sediment uh, from fruit from the wine. So, fill the brim to allow the seep little air as possible. Then you are going to secure with the airlock and it stands for two more weeks. So with this plastic tube, siphon the wine into the clear glass bottle. Then rocking, repeat steps 3 and 4 until the wine looks clear. Then you are going to pour, that's number 5, pour into glass bottles. Then leave about ½ inch of extra room Then you are going to seal the corks. And then number 7, you are going to store upright for the first 3 days. Afterwards, store the wine on its side at 13 degrees Celsius or 55 degrees Celsius, Fahrenheit. Then red wine must be aged for at least 1 year, while wine can be consumed after 6 months. Okay, so number 9, store upright at least 13 degrees Celsius. And you may watch the process through this video with your this link. Just click this link and you can watch the process or the video. Okay, so you can watch this by clicking this one. This is the red color. Okay, so that one. And here you can see this. Just click in that. You will be directed to that video. Okay. So what's more? So give what is asked in the statements below. Use a separate paper for your answers. Still don't forget to write your name, your grade level and the section, module number and title, and the activity. Okay, it's very clear. Knowing that the alcohol content of your product is crucial in determining its price, as well as complying with regulations set by, that's your answer. Okay. Number 2, what is the value of ABW and ABV? It is in the given value, initial rating, and the final rating. Subtract final rating from the initial rating. I was explaining that earlier. Then multiply the difference by 105 to get the alcohol and weight the ABW. Okay, so times 1.5 equals, so that would be the ABW. Then multiply by ABW by 1.5, then 3.68 times 1.25, and that should be your ABV. Okay, so you're going to answer this one, what I have learned. Okay, what are the 2 methods of extraction? Okay, there are 2, as I mentioned earlier. Number 2 questions. What is the simple sugar and what are the 3 simple sugar? Okay. Number 3, what are the 4 stages of wine making? Very easy. I already explained that. I already read that one. Number 4, what are the 5 main ingredients of fermentation? Okay. So here, this is very important what I can do. You're going to perform this one, and this will your output instruction. Okay, so perform a simple lactic acid fermentation at home in making a most popular Korean dish, kimchi. Okay, very popular now, very popular in kimchi. While performing the task, video the process. Okay, so video video. Then, and send it to your, send it to me for grading. The criteria for this grading are given to you for your reference. Okay. So performing lactic acid fermentation. Kimchi. Ingredients. Medium heat, napa cabbage. Okay. Next, ang mga ingredients niya. 1/2 cup or 62 grams oyster salt, then distilled or filtered water, then 5 to 6 garlic cloves or grated, then 1 teaspoon, 2 grams grated vinegar, next 1 teaspoon, 4 grams sugar, then 2 to 3 tablespoon or 30 to 45 ml fish sauce, then 1 to 5 tablespoon or 5 to 25 grams Korean red pepper flakes, then 8 ounces or 200 grams radish peeled and cut into much matchsticks. Okay, next next is scallion or trim and cut into 1 inch 2.5 cm piece. Okay, so part 1, salting the cabbage. Okay, slice the cabbage into quarters, then use the sharp knife to cut 1 medium heat of Napa cabbage in half. Next, slice each section in half again to form quarters and remove the core section from the bottom to each quarter. Number 2, cut each quarter and strips. Use the knife to slice each quarter crosswise. Create 2 inches or 5 cm wide strips from each piece of the cabbage and is roughly shredded. Traditionally, kimchi is made of cube cabbage. You may now also cut the quarters into cubes and if you may prefer that size. Combine the cabbage and salt in a bowl, then place the sliced cabbage in a large bowl and sprinkle 1/4 cup or 62 grams of kosher salt over it. Use clean hands to gently avoid soaking the cabbage for more than 2 hours or it's become soggy. So pour the cabbage into the colander and drain and collect the brain. After the cabbage has soaked, dump it into the colander and it's sitting the sink. Have a bowl beneath the colander and you may collect the salt water brain. Rinse the cabbage with cold water 3 times and drain it again. Then you are going to remove the brain from hilt to colander and set aside. Run cold water from the brain and beneath the colander and set it aside. Run cold water in the sink faucet over the cabbage for the colander, shaking the leaves well and arrange them. Repeat the process 2 or more times to ensure that the salt water is completely removed and allow the cabbage to drain in the sink for 15 to 20 minutes so all of the water is removed. Then part 2, adding the paste. Mix the garlic, ginger, sugar, and fish sauce. Then add 5 to 6 grated garlic cloves, 1 teaspoon or 2 grams of grated ginger, 1 teaspoon or 4 grams of sugar, and 2 to 3 tablespoons 30 to 45 ml fish sauce in a small bowl. Stir well until smooth paste forms. Stir the red pepper flakes, then add 1 to 5 tablespoons or 5 to 25 grams of Korean red pepper flakes to the plastic, then mix well until the flakes is completely incorporated. Korean red pepper flakes are also known as the gochugaro, and can be found in the Asian grocery stores in the international aisles of some general grocery stores. For mild kimchi, just add single tablespoon of red pepper flakes. Increase the amount of if you prepare spicy flavor. Then combine the cabbage, radish, scallion, and paste. Add a cabbage, 8 ounces or 200 grams of peeled radish that's been cut into matchsticks. Then a scallion, 4 scallion that are trimmed and cut into 7 inches, 2.5 cm piece, and the piece of large clean bowl. Use your hands to mix the ingredients together well, and all the vegetables are coated with paste. It is good idea to wear gloves while mixing the paste with the vegetable. The paste can sting or strain or the leaves smell behind your skin. Okay, part 3. We are now in the part 3. Put the kimchi in a glass jar and add brain to it. Once the vegetables and paste are combined, transfer them to a clean jar. Then pour some of the brain as in well and press down in the vegetables until the brain till the brain raises to cover them. Then you are going to seal the jar tightly with a lid. Then there should be at least 1 inches the space of the top of the jar. If there's any leftover brain after you cover the vegetable in the jar, you can discard it. If you do not have the glass jar, you can ferment the kimchi in the plastic zipper bag. Okay, be sure to squeeze out all the excess air before scaling the bag through. Allow the kimchi to ferment for 5 days, then leave the kimchi out of the room temperature in the sealed jar. Let sit 1 to 2 days before opening the jar. Then press the kimchi with a spoon. So if bubbles appears on the top, it is properly fermented. If it is not fermented, I do not continue to make acid checking it on the everyday. Another way to tell the kimchi to finish fermenting is to taste it when it has a tangy sour flavor is needed. And then you are going to transfer the kimchi to the refrigerator for another week or so. So when the kimchi is fully fermented, place it on jar and fresh. So you can eat. It right away, but the flavor is usually bitter if you let chill for another 1 to 2 weeks or more. Another way to tell the kimchi is finished fermenting the taste is when it has a tasty, taste and sorry, okay, then spoon some kimchi on air this one. Some kimchi over the bowl, steamed rice for a tasty simply also pairs with the fried rice. So you can use kimchi on top of the bowl in ramen noodles. For more creative dishes, consider topping in burger or sandwich with kimchi, or making some kimchi into scrambled eggs for a bit of bit or a kick. Store kimchi in a fridge for 3 to 5 months, as long as there's still rain in the jar. Kimchi can be less than several months in the refrigerator. You can usually tell that done, it's gone. Bad and brain becomes particularly frizzy with bubbles. Okay, so these are the sources, class. So, criteria for rating. Okay, you have your, this is the perfect points here, points. Self-rating and the teacher's rating. Ingredients are complete. Okay, for ingredients, okay. Number one, ingredients are complete. The ingredients are fresh and properly chosen. If you are have this, so you have to rate your uh, portion here. You'll be the one to rate here. Okay, and also this one. You rate until here. Okay. Then our assessment here. Still, don't forget to write your name, the subject, the section, the grade and section, and the lesson title. So, okay. So you are going to identify. Okay, here the process. Okay, there are 1 to 10. Answer this one is the answer is found in the box here. So you just try to find the answers in the box. Okay, that's all. Thank you for Thank you for your listening. Thank you for watching. I hope you understand. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to subscribe our channel and also like the video so that you'll be notified for our next video. Okay, thank you class. Goodbye. Have a great day.